All right, everybody, welcome back. My name is Steven. I live in an all-electric house on the east side of Madison. 1957 was the year the house was built. I renovated everything myself. I think I probably spent about $11,000. I insulated walls, air-sealed stuff, got a new heat pump water heater, got a cold climate heat pump, ripped out my furnace, did new ductwork. And actually, right now, I'm in the process of putting solar up in my house. 20 panels. We'll probably do it for I'm going to say $5,000 or $6,000, and then we'll be hopefully have close to no electric bill. So that's kind of exciting. Want to let you know that that's totally possible to do here in Madison, but we'll talk about that later on in this series of videos. In the last video, we talked about the idea that a house is an environmental separator, and that its job is to keep the outside out and the inside in. And really what we're trying to control bulk water, we're trying to control air, water vapor, and heat. Those are the four things that we're trying to control, okay? So when people talk about wanting to do upgrades on their house, and the first thing they talk about is insulation, they're really talking about the last thing that we really want to control, okay? It's the last thing. It's like the lowest level of importance. The other three things have much greater impacts on your comfort, on the building durability, and on your health, right? So we talked about, we want to control bulk water by gutters, downspouts, roof overhangs, and grading, right? And once we do that, rather than look to insulation, we want to look to air sealing, okay? Ideally, we want our house to be like a plastic bag, completely 100% airtight. I'll say that again. You want your house to be as airtight as possible. As airtight as possible. Well, gee, Steven, I heard that you don't want houses to be too airtight. Houses need to breathe. That is false. Houses need to be ventilated for the health and safety of the occupants. A house does not need to breathe, okay? People need to breathe. So when we talk about making upgrades to our house, after we take care of the bulk water issue, we want to take care of air sealing. The spots where we want to air seal are the attic plane. That's priority number one. Priority number two is where the basement foundation meets the framing of the house. It's called the rim joist. That's priority number two. And priority number three is the first floor of the house. Why? Okay. Let me explain. In order for air to move in and out of a structure, two things need to be present. Number one, there needs to be a hole, okay? If you have a solid piece of drywall, no air is going to go through that drywall, or it's going to go through it at a very, very low rate, okay? So you need to have a physical hole that you can look through, or that you can see through, where air is going to be traveling in and out, in and out. The second thing that you need to have is a pressure difference, okay? A pressure difference. So there are pressures across your house on the second floor, on the first floor, and down the basement. The greatest pressure difference in your house is between the upstairs and the outside air, okay? So a 1-inch circular hole up on your second floor in your ceiling is going to leak more air than a 1-inch hole right next to your doorbell on your first floor, because the pressure is greater. Think about a ship, all right? If you had a ship that had a hull that was 40 feet deep, and you had a 1-inch hole at the bottom of the hull, or a 1-inch hole right next to the surface, the 1-inch hole at the bottom of that ship is going to have water pouring in at a much, much quicker rate than that 1-inch hole that's right below the surface of the water, okay? So the pressure difference and the pathway are the two things that allow for air leakage. And because the pressure difference is greatest at the top of the house and at the bottom of the house, those are the two areas that we want to seal first and second, okay? So seal the lid of the house, then seal down at the rim joist, and then move to the middle. When people say that your windows are leaking and stuff, that might be the case, but the areas and the places that you cannot see will have a bigger impact on the air tightness of the house than little cracks around the actual windows. So just to summarize, after we control liquid water or bulk water, then we want to air seal the house. And we air seal the house by moving to the top first, then the bottom, and then the middle, in that order.